The 2020-21 Blackpool FC season was the club's 112th season in the English Football League, and their fourth consecutive season in League One, the third tier of the Football League. The season covers the period from the 1st of July 2020 to the 30th of June 2021. Along with competing in League One, the club also participated in the FA Cup. They were knocked out of the EFL Cup in the first round and the EFL Trophy in the second round. In the third round of the FA Cup, Blackpool defeated Premier League side West Bromwich Albion on penalties, giving the Seasiders a first FA Cup win over top-flight opposition since they beat Burnley 45 years prior. On the 8th of August, Blackpool made the short trip down the coast to play Southport to kick off their pre-season campaign, their first fixture in 151 days. Grant Ward opened the scoring in the first half before further second-half strikes from Sulley Kaikai and debutant pair Keshi Anderson and Jerry Yates sealed a 4-0 victory for Neil Critchley's side. 7 days later, Blackpool travelled to Vale Park to take on Port Vale. A Sulley Kaikai goal 2 minutes before halftime was cancelled out early in the second half by Scott Burgess. Keshi Anderson, like Kaikai, scored his second goal of preseason to restore the visitors' lead. Barrow visited Bloomfield Road on the 18th of August. Jordan Thornley put the hosts ahead on 38 minutes. Dior Angus levelled for David Dunn's men with 20 minutes left before Matt Bwai Virtue restored Blackpool's lead after 81 minutes. Premier League Everton made the short trip to the Fylde Coast on the 22nd of August. The hosts went 3-0 up inside 12 minutes through goals by CJ Hamilton, Sulley Kaikai and Grant Ward. Everton replied before halftime with goals from Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Gylfi Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson got a second after the break to make it 3-3, which is how the match finished. Blackpool fell to a 3-2 defeat at home to Blackburn Rovers on the 25th of August. Matty Virtue scored Blackpool's goal, making the score 1-2 late in the first half. A planned friendly against Oldham Athletic was cancelled due to Blackpool's involvement in the EFL Cup. A final friendly took place at Anfield against Liverpool on the 5th of September. Blackpool went 2-0 up inside 34 minutes through CJ Hamilton and a penalty from Jerry Yates, before Joel Matip pulled one back 2 minutes before the break. Sadio Mane levelled for the hosts on 52 minutes. 2 minutes later, Roberto Firmino put Liverpool ahead for the first time. Harvey Elliott made it 4-2 on 69 minutes and Takumi Minamino added a fifth 3 minutes later. Divock Origi made it 6-2 with 5 minutes remaining. Sepp van den Berg scored Liverpool's 7th on 88 minutes. In detail, season proper August. Blackpool's season opened with an EFL Cup first-round tie with Stoke City at the Britannia Stadium on the 29th of August. The match finished goalless after 90 minutes and went to penalties, with Stoke being the victors 5-4. Striker Joe Nuttall was loaned out to Northampton Town for the season on the 31st of August. September began with another new signing, with forward Bez Labala joining, for an undisclosed fee, from Crawley Town. Midfielder Ben Garrity joined Oldham Athletic on loan for the season on the 2nd of September. The following day, midfielder Dan Kemp joined on a season-long loan from West Ham United. He was recalled by the Premier League club on the 15th of January. The arrival of left-back Dimitri Mitchell on the 4th of September. Ember made it 4 transactions in as many days, and brought the Seasiders' number of incomings for the season to 11. Blackpool and Barrow played out a goalless draw in the EFL Trophy on the 8th of September. Blackpool won the penalty shootout 5-3, however, thus gaining a bonus point. Blackpool opened their league campaign at Plymouth Argyle on the 12th of September. They lost to Luke Jeffcott's headed goal on 3 minutes. Last season's Player of the Year Liam Feeney was loaned out to Tranmere Rovers for the season on the 17th of September. Swindon Town visited the Seaside on the 19th of September. A first-half double from CJ Hamilton gave the Seasiders the 3 points. Left-back Luke Garbett joined on a free transfer on the 22nd of September, having left Everton. Knocked out by Brighton in the following round, the club finished third in League One and won promotion to the EFL Championship via the playoffs after a 6-year absence. It was head coach Neil Critchley's first full season in charge. Pre-season. A 2-0 defeat at Gillingham 7 days later dropped Blackpool down to 13th. October midfielder Nathan Shaw joined AFC Fylde on loan on the 2nd of October. Initially intended to be until the end of the season, he returned in January after AFC Fylde's season was put on hold due to COVID-19. Blackpool hosted Lincoln City on the 3rd of October. CJ Hamilton put the Tangerines ahead on 17 minutes, before the first of 2 goals from Jorge Grant brought matters level on 24 minutes via the penalty spot. Dimitri Mitchell scored his first goal for Blackpool on 82 minutes, restoring their lead, but another penalty from Grant leveled proceedings again 3 minutes later. James Husband was sent off a minute earlier. Louis Monsma scored what proved to be the winner on 88 minutes. Blackpool dropped to 21st place with the defeat. On the 5th of October, Icelandic defender Daniel Leo Grétarsson joined the club from Ålesunds, while defender midfielder Daniel Ballard joined on loan from Arsenal until January. The following day, Blackpool drew 1-1 with Accrington Stanley in the EFL Trophy, but they missed out on a bonus point by losing in the subsequent penalty shootout. Keshi Anderson opened his scoring account for the Seasiders. On the 9th of October, Michael Nottingham left the club, joining recent opponents Accrington Stanley. The following day, Ipswich Town visited Bloomfield Road and returned south with all 3 points after a 4-1 victory. Luke Chambers put them ahead on 16 minutes before Gwan Edwards. ND Teddy Bishop made it 3-0 at halftime. Gary Medine, with his first goal of the season, pulled one back for the Seasiders on the hour mark. Edwards scored his second with 10 minutes remaining. Blackpool's 4th defeat in their opening 5 league games, they dropped 1 place to 22nd transfer deadline day, the 16th of October, saw 2 arrivals and 1 departure. Out on loan to Newport County went midfielder Jamie DeWitt. Inbound were forward Ben Woodburn on loan from Liverpool and Australian midfielder Kenny Dougal. On a free transfer on the 17th of October, Blackpool ended their run of defeats with a 1-1 draw at Crewe Alexandra, Blackpool manager Neil Critchley's first club of his short playing career. Michael Mandron opened the scoring for the Railwaymen on 54 minutes. Grant Ward scored his first goal of the campaign to bring the visitors level on 71 minutes. Charlton Athletic returned south with all 3 points after a single-goal victory at Bloomfield Road on the 20th of October. James Husband was sent off inside 2 minutes for the hosts, for whom it was a 5th defeat in their first 7 league fixtures. Blackpool travelled to Burton Albion on the 31st of October. A Jerry Yates double, either side of Daw. Neil Leo Grétarsson's own goal gave the Tangerines all 3 points. They climbed to 16th place with the victory in November. On the 3rd of November, Blackpool beat Wigan by a single Sule Kaikai goal. The victory lifted them to 12th. 5 days later, the Seasiders made it into the hat for the second-round draw of the FA Cup with a 3-0 win at Eastbourne Borough. The biggest game in the hosts' history, Blackpool made it 4 consecutive victories, and their 5th and 6th, with a 3-0 scoreline at home to Leeds United under-21s in TH. EFL Trophy on the 11th of November. Midfielders Rob Apter and Cameron Antwi made their professional debuts in the tie. After a 10-day break, Blackpool travelled to Peterborough United and returned with all 3 points in a 2-1 victory, extending their winning streak to 5. Jerry Yates put the visitors in the lead on 19 minutes. Frankie Kent levelled for Posh on 84 minutes, but Gary Medine scored a Y. On the 12th of June, the club announced their retained list. 8 players were released. Goalkeeping trio Miles Boney, Mark Howard and Christopher Mafumbi, defender Sean Graham, midfielders Yusufu Cisse and Sean Scannell, and forwards Armand Nondulit and Owen Watkinson. Club captain Jay Spearing turned down a new contract and also departed. Goalkeeper Chris Maxwell signed a new 2-year contract on NNER in the first minute of added time. Manager Neil Critchley dedicated the win to the club's academy manager Warren Green, who died the previous day, aged 46. Doncaster Rovers brought Blackpool's winning run to an end on the 24th of November, coming from 0-2 down with 3 second-half goals. Jerry Yates had opened the scoring for the visitors from the penalty spot, making himself the club's top goal scorer. With 5 in all competitions in the process. CJ Hamilton doubled the lead, only for Blackpool to concede goals on 48, 52, and again from the penalty spot, 76 minutes. November ended with a passage into the 3rd round of the FA Cup, after a 4-0 victory at Harrogate Town on the 28th. A Mark Beck own goal put the visitors ahead 5 minutes into the second half. Grant Ward doubled the lead 5 minutes later. Jordan Gabriel netted his first goal for Blackpool on 85 minutes, before Dan Kemp made it 4-2 minutes into added time. December. Blackpool won with a single-goal scoreline against Portsmouth at Bloomfield Road on the 1st of December. Keshi Anderson scored the goal on 64 minutes. Blackpool climbed to 12th place with the 3 points. Earlier in the day, Cameron Antwi joined Southport on loan until the 17th of January. They made it 8 wins from their last 9 matches on the 5th of December, with a 1-0 edging of Fylde Coast rivals Fleetwood Town at Highbury Stadium. Gary Medine scored the goal on 16 minutes, his 5th in all competitions this season. Blackpool remained in 12th place. The 2 sides met again 3 days later at the same venue in the knockout stage of the EFL Trophy. Fleetwood won 5-4 on penalties. Oxford. United visited the seaside on the 12th of December and returned south with a point after a goalless draw. Blackpool dropped one place to 13th. League leaders Hull City travelled to Bloomfield Road 3 days later. Malik Wilkes put the visitors ahead on 38 minutes. Jerry Yates equalised in first-half injury time. Keshi Anderson put the Seasiders ahead for the first time on 66 minutes. Reece Burke brought matters level again in the final minute of normal time, but CJ Hamilton scored the winner 3 minutes into stoppage time. Blackpool climbed one place to 12th and had won 9 of their last 12 matches. A goalless draw followed at Accrington Stanley on the 19th of December. Blackpool remained 12th. Goalkeeper Sam Walker joined on an emergency 7-day loan on the 23rd of December as cover for Chris Maxwell, who tested positive for COVID-19. Blackpool's home fixture against Rochdale on the 26th of December was postponed after a COVID-19 outbreak in the visitors' ranks. A defeat, Blackpool's first in the league since the 24th of November, occurred at Shrewsbury Town on the 29th of December. Blackpool remained 12th, January. Blackpool began the new year with a 2-1 defeat at Bristol Rovers on the 2nd of January. Gary Medine had put the Tangerines ahead on 8 minutes, but 2 goals in as many minutes 10 minutes before the break were enough to give Rovers the victory. Blackpool dropped one place in the table to 13th. 7 days later, Blackpool secured a place in the 4th round of the FA Cup at the expense of former Seaside RS manager Sam Allardyce's West Bromwich Albion. Jerry Yates put Blackpool ahead 5 minutes before halftime. Semi Ajayi levelled for West Brom 7 minutes into the second half. Gary Medine scored his 7th goal of the season on 66 minutes to put the hosts ahead again, but Mateus Pereira equalised 10 minutes from the end of normal time. Blackpool won 3-2 on penalties after extra time on 16. The 16th of June, on the 17th of June, head coach Neil Critchley brought in Mike Garrity to be his assistant. Garrity left Liverpool, whose academy he had been working in since 2007. Keshi Anderson, a forward, became the first arrival at the club on the 29th of June. 18-year-old Cameron Antwi signed his first professional contract on the 3rd of July, a 1-year deal, with the club having the option to extend for a second year. He had. January, Blackpool travelled to Hull City and came away with a 1-1 draw. Jerry Yates scored his 6th league goal, making him the club's top scorer in all competitions with 8. Blackpool dropped one place to 14th. Midfielder Jamie DeVitt was released by the club on the 19th of January. He had not been part of the club squad. Blackpool's FA Cup run ended at the 4th round stage after a 2-1 defeat at Brighton on the 23rd of January. The Tangerines were without 5 first-team players after they tested positive for COVID-19. Earlier in the day, midfielder Kevin Stewart joined on a free transfer. 3 days later, Blackpool travelled to Wigan Athletic and won 5-0. The goals came from Marvin Ekpiteta, Jerry Yates, Matty Virtue, and 2 from Everton loanee Ellis Sims. February. On the 1st of February, transfer deadline day, Blackpool loaned out defender Teddy Howe to Scunthorpe United and forward Oliver Sarkic to Mansfield Town. The next day, Blackpool hosted Northampton Town. Marvin Ekpiteta and Jerry Yates scored as the Tangerines took all 3 points. A 2-0 defeat followed on the 6th of February at Ipswich Town, leaving Blackpool in 13th place in the table. After 2 consecutive postponements, Blackpool returned to action with a home victory over Rochdale. Sule Kaikai scored the only goal of the game. Trip to Portsmouth followed on the 20th of February. Jerry Yates scored his 11th goal of the campaign on 82 minutes to give the visitors the 3 points, which lifted them up to 13th place in the table. A planned the 23rd of February fixture at home to Doncaster Aro Spurs was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Blackpool won 3-0 at Charlton Athletic on the 27th of February. Jerry Yates, with 2 penalties, brought his goal tally for the season to 13. Matty Virtue scored the other goal. The Addicts had 2 players sent off. It was their 5th win, each with a clean sheet in their last 6 league games. March. On the 2nd of March, Blackpool hosted Crewe Alexandra. Dan Ballard scored his first goal for the hosts on 41 minutes. Stephen Walker levelled for the Railwaymen 4 minutes from the end of normal time, and the match, which had 10 minutes of injury time due to an injury to an official, ended 1-1. It was the first goal Blackpool had conceded in nearly 6 hours of football. A same scoreline followed against AFC Wimbledon 4 days later. Blackpool recorded another clean sheet victory at MK Dons on the 9th of March. Jerry Yates scored the only goal of the game, his 14th in all competitions. It was Blackpool's 6th clean sheet in the last 9 games. A goalless draw followed in a Fylde Coast derby with Fleetwood Town at Bloomfield Road on the 13th of March. Blackpool recorded their 4th draw in 5 games at home to Burton Albion on the 16th of March. Luke Garbett scored his first goal for the Tangerines. On the 20th of March, Blackpool recorded a 2-0 victory at Oxford United, with the goals coming from Kenny Dougal, his first for the club, and Dan Ballard. The victory lifted Blackpool to 10th place. Peterborough United visited the Seaside 3 days later. Blackpool won 3-1 with 2 goals by Jerry Yates and 1 from Luke Garbett, extending their unbeaten run to 10 games and climbed into the top 6 for the first time. They stayed in those positions for the remainder of the season. Plymouth returned to the South Coast with a point after a 2-2 draw on the 27th of March. Ryan Hardy, who left Blackpool, been in the club's academy. 24-year-old centre-back Marvin Ekpiteta joined on a free transfer on the 8th of July, having let his contract with Leyton Orient run out. He signed a 2-year contract, with the club having an option to extend for a further year. The following day, Montenegrin midfielder Oliver Sarkic signed on a free transfer. Forward Jerry Yates joined from Rotherham United for an undisclosed fee. For the Pilgrims earlier in the season put the visitors ahead on 12 minutes. Sulley Kaikai equalized 2 minutes into the second half. Jerry Yates put Blackpool ahead from the penalty spot on 64 minutes, but Joe Edwards levelled matters again in injury time. April. A visit to Swindon Town on the 2nd of April ended with 3 points after a 2-0 win. Ellis Sims scored the first goal a minute before the break, and Jerry Yates scored the second just after the hour mark. Blackpool faced Gillingham at Bloomfield Road on the 5th of April. The Seasiders won 4-1 with 2 goals from Jerry Yates on 5 feet and 20 feet, bringing his season total to 20 in all competitions, and 1 each from Sewell Kaikai 30 and Elliot Embleton 61, his first for the club. Jordan Graham scored for the Gills, the equalizer at the time. It was Blackpool's 10th win in their last 16 games and lifted them 1 place to 5th in the table. 2 straight draws followed, 2-2 at Lincoln City on the 10th of April and 3 days later at home to Accrington Stanley. Blackpool won their 5th match out of their last 8 on the 17th of April with a single goal scoreline at home to Sunderland. The club's first league defeat in 2.5 months occurred at Rochdale on the 20th of April. Blackpool remained 5th in the table despite the defeat. Another defeat followed 4 days later at home to Shrewsbury Town. A league double over Sunderland was completed in 10 days with a single-goal victory at the Stadium of Light. Sulley Kaikai got the goal. Blackpool climbed 1 place in the table to 5th. May a 3-0 victory at Northampton Town began the final month of the campaign. Luke Garbett opened the scoring and Jerry Yates got 2 more, bringing his season's total to 22. Blackpool remained 5th. Blackpool secured a place in the playoffs on the 4th of May after a 2-0 home victory over Doncaster Rovers. It was their 3rd successive clean sheet, and the 21st of their 45 league fixtures, which resulted in Chris Maxwell winning the League One EFL Golden Glove for the 2020-21 season. An Ellis Sims double gave the Tangerines the 3 points and lifted them to 3rd in the table, a 4th consecutive win and clean sheet followed on the 9th of May in a single-goal match at home to Bristol Rovers. Ellis Sims got the goal. Blackpool secured 3rd place, and were drawn against Oxford United in the playoff semi-finals. Their league record was, played 46, won 23, drew 11, lost 12, 80 points. Goals for 60, goals against 37, resulting in a goal difference of +2-3. Blackpool won the first leg of the playoff semi-finals at Oxford United on the 18th of May 3-0, with a goal from Ollie Turton and a double from Ellis Sims. The second leg at Bloomfield Road on the 21st of May finished 3-3. The hosts' goals came from Elliot Embleton, Kenny Dougal and Jerry Yates. Blackpool progressed to the playoff final 6-3 on aggregate. In the final on the 30th of May, Blackpool beat Lincoln City 2-1 to seal a return to the second tier after a 6-year absence. Kenny Dougal scored both of Blackpool's goals, after Ollie Turton scored a first-minute own goal to give the Imps the lead. It was Blackpool's 6th victory in a playoff final in 8 such appearances. June. On the 3rd of June, the club announced its retained list. New contracts were offered to Cameron Antwi, signed, James Husband, signed, Luke Garbett, signed, Gary Medine, signed, Stuart Moore, signed, and Nathan Shaw, declined. Contract options were exercised on Ben Garrity and Grant Ward. Garrity joined Port Vale on the 4th of June. Released were Liam Feeney, Alex Wojtaszek, Sulley Kaikai, Jack Sims, and Audie Y. On the 21st of July, he was joined the next day by Mansfield Town winger CJ Hamilton, who signed a 3-year contract. The club's 5th signing of the close season, the fee was undisclosed. Forward Ryan Hardy returned to Plymouth Argyle on loan, this time for the season, having had a successful spell there last season. He made the move permanent on the 29th of January. Another forward, 16-year-old Tony Weston, Joy. USSUF. Ollie Turton rejected a new contract and joined Huddersfield Town on the 8th of June. Blackpool made 3 new signings. all of whom officially joined on the 1st of July. Defender Reece James, goalkeeper Daniel Grimshaw, and Northern Ireland international striker Shane Lavery. Blackpool included an option on all three players to extend their contracts by 12 months. 11 days later, right-winger Josh Bowler agreed to join the club on the 1st of July after leaving Everton centre-back Oliver Casey, signed from Leeds United, on a 3-year contract on the 22nd of June. The move became official on the 1st of July. Versatile defender midfielder Callum Connolly agreed to join the Seasiders on the 24th of June. He also completed the move on the 1st of July, after his contract with Everton expired. Kevin Stewart and Cameron Antwi signed new contracts with the club on the 30th of June. Competition's EFL League One league table results in summary and detail: win, draw, loss, postponed. The 2020-21 season fixtures were released on the 21st of August. By the 23rd of February, 7 Blackpool matches had been postponed, 4 due to the weather, 3 because of COVID-19 outbreaks. The weather-related postponements were all at Bloomfield Road, Northampton Town, waterlogged pitch, Burton Albion, Peterborough United, both frozen pitches, and Doncaster Rovers, waterlogged pitch. The COVID-19 outbreak forced the postponements of the matches against Sunderland, Rochdale, and Burton Albion. Playoffs FA Cup. The draw for the first round was made on the 26th of October. The second round draw was revealed on the 9th of November by Danny Cowley. The third round draw was made on the 30th of November, with Premier League and EFL Championship clubs all entering the competition. The draw for the fourth and fifth round were made on the 11th of January, conducted by Peter Crouch. Win, draw, loss EFL Cup. The first round draw was made on the 18th of August. Win, draw, loss EFL Trophy. Win, draw, loss on the 17th of August 2020. The regional groups for the 2020-21 EFL Trophy were made. Blackpool were drawn in Northern Group G alongside Accrington, Stanley and Barrow and Leeds United U21s. The second round draw was made by Matt Murray on the 20th of November at St Andrews. Squad statistics: players used 34. Goals scored 82, including 2 own goals. Statistics accurate as of the 2nd of June 2021. Transfers and loans and transfers out, loans out. Ned Rangers on the 31st of July. Centre-back Ryan Edwards joined Dundee United on the 3rd of August. On the 6th of August, midfielder Ethan Robson signed. He was a free agent, having left Sunderland after 16 years. Forward Nathan Delfaneso joined Bolton Wanderers, managed by his former Seasiders teammate Ian Evatt. The same day, left-back Callum MacDonald joined Tranmere Rovers on a season-long loan on the 19th of August. He made the move permanent on the 1st of February. Another midfielder, Jordan Williams, signed on a free transfer on the 24th of August. He left to join Ian Evatt's Bolton Wanderers on transfer deadline day. On the 25th of August, former Manchester United Academy goalkeeper Alex Wojtaszek joined. He had played a few pre-season friendlies on trial for Blackpool. On the 28th of August, forward Adi Yusuf joined Wrexham on a season-long loan. His loan was cut short with his returning to Bloomfield Road on the 1st of February, but he went back out on loan the following day to Chesterfield. Results.